They got a good
All I need you to do
microphone.
is just sit here and really don't. Okay, so
I don't
that'll
even
tell
get
me.
to talk.
All right. And whenever y'all are ready,
Are you
we're
gonna
rolling.
Are you gonna introduce the show?
You
Okay, so this is our first episode of.
burnt biscuits and cold eggs.
Okay, I think we probably need to explain to the people how we even came up with. I mean, I guess is that chronologically correct? Do we start with how we came up with the show or how we got to us? Which makes more sense.
The beauty of the edit is no matter what order we do it in, we can put it in whatever order we need it to be. So, I think explaining the name gets to explaining why we're doing it in the first place, because the name articulates the significance of the platform, and then we can talk about the inspiration.
Okay, so why are we called burnt biscuits and cold eggs?
Well, let me ask a question. Where should I be looking?
This is your camera.
That's my camera.
This is both of y'all. That's hers.
But you don't have to look at the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a conversation with her. Yeah. Do that again.
Okay, so I'm gonna start from the top.
You can turn me up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to the first episode of Burnt Biscuits and Cold Eggs. And I guess in thinking about just kind of how we got here, we probably need to explain what burnt biscuits and cold eggs mean.
First of all, what I need to do is have everybody who's watching this give it up for my wife's new haircut.
You know what? Shut your
Exceptionally fly. But burnt biscuits and cold eggs. So, one, those of you that know Tanisha know that her love language is food. And so we use a lot of food analogies within the family. And I think the idea behind the podcast.
Okay, first of all,
what?
Food is not a love language. That is not a love language. I think it's 5 of them, and food is not one of them.
Food is one for us. And the point is, ultimately, it's like this. Who's the person that made up the love languages in the first place? And
so basically they made it up so you can make up another one.
It wasn't in the Bible.
Okay, go.
So food is a love language.
Okay,
back to what I was saying.
Okay.
So my wife's love language is food. Is that correct?
One of them. I enjoy food. Oh, we enjoy food. We don't enjoy food?
We enjoy food, but the point is, like, you can be extremely angry about something to the point where you want to fight, and all I need to do is talk about ordering some Uber Eats, and all of a sudden, argument is over.
This is such a lie.
Food is a love language.
Okay.
But
so
back to burnt biscuits and cold eggs. So the concept behind burnt biscuits and cold eggs is, sometimes the biscuits are a little burnt, a little crispy on the bottom, especially when somebody forgets to spray the cookie sheet, and sometimes the eggs are cold, right? But if
we talk about why the eggs are cold.
The eggs are cold because every once in a while the chef gets distracted in the middle of cooking the eggs and the timing gets thrown off a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm waiting on the pancakes to be done and the eggs get a little chilly. But at the end of the day, if the burnt biscuits are a little burnt and the eggs are a little cold, and that's the worst shit that happens, is life really that bad? And so the premise of it is, I think we all, even in our relationship, right, have had our ups and downs. Thankfully, more ups than downs. But I think in the grand scheme of things, we wanted to focus on just, our journey, relationships, marriage, love, kids, work, friends. I mean, all those things that ultimately kind of make life what it is, but look at it through the lens of just, more lighthearted, more fun. I mean, I'm sure sometimes the conversations will be a little heavy, but, more often than not, we want to make sure that when we, get up and people, click close on the window, that they've had a good time.
That's fair. So that's kind of where the idea behind the name for the podcast came up. But people are going to be really interested in how we got here. Like, how did we, Ahmed, because people don't even know who we are, Ahmed and Tanisha, how did we get here?
Well, it all started when my mama gave my dad smash.
Hey, okay, that's
we're not going back that far.
Not that far. No.
It actually all started with a DM.
It did.
If I'm being honest.
It did.
The reason we're wearing Astros gear for the first episode is one, some of us are still playing playoff baseball right now in America. And my first DM to Tanisha through the lovely platform that is Facebook was during the Astros World Series run.
It was.
And so I was fairly recently separated and decided to slip up in Tanisha's DMs and ask her about a victory party. It's my way of subtly giving myself the opportunity to maintain my integrity in case she denied me, but also asking her if she was interested in hanging out. And she actually didn't respond.
No, I did respond. The first time I did respond.
No.
You're telling me I read it and didn't say
You
anything.
didn't.
I didn't
You
leave you on
left
red.
me- no, you
That's
left me
such
on-
a lie.
you left me
I
on
still
red.
have it in my phone. All jokes aside.
You left me on red.
Okay, so okay.
And in the spirit of,
I really didn't know.
me being a resilient black man and understanding that sometimes sisters make mistakes, I actually sent another DM.
But that's really not how it happened, though. Seriously, it's really not how it happened.
It's my story, right?
Okay, go ahead. You're right.
So I sent another DM.
Okay.
And this time she responded. Now, to her credit, my defense, what she knew of me at the time was family man, 2 kids, as she likes to say, posting pictures from Easter Sunday.
Right.
I didn't fail to state that I was in the middle of getting divorced.
Correct.
So
let me interject here and say, naturally, it would make sense that if what I would assume was a married man comes rolling up in my DMs talking about, hey, where we going to watch that? Where's the Astros party at? I'm not going nowhere to watch no game with you.
well, most sisters would have given the typical, what about your wife response? And then I could have explained my situation.
But it really would have helped had you led with that information. And I think in the
These are
subsequent
facts.
conversation,
These are facts.
the subsequent conversation that you sent, or the message that you sent, was you led with that.
Yeah.
And then we were able to.
Go on a first date, and
Oh, wait. We did what?
we had a meeting.
No,
actually.
we had a date. He's
Our
correct. You're correct. It
First
was
engagement was a meeting.
It was a date.
Which was followed by a date, and then
it was a date. It's a date when who tries to kiss somebody at a meeting?
So this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's a failure to understand the integration of European culture into black romance.
Negro, that had nothing
What I
to
was
do.
trying to do was hit
Negro.
you with the little mwah, mwah, like the French do. You just wasn't up on that, so you thought it was a kiss. But it's okay, because here we are now.
I
Right?
assumed that it was a kiss. Okay, if you say so. So anyway, that's fairly correct in terms of how we met. And
What we will learn through the course of this podcast is that we typically don't quite align on history. There's typically some level of a disconnect.
there's some level of
between-
truth on my part
between the
and
facts
wrong
and the world
wrong.
according to
Okay,
Tanisha.
But if you say so,
Okay,
we'll just have to agree to disagree on that. But so be it. But I think that we will. The goal is to bring. What is the goal of the podcast?
I mean, I think the
Before I say
goal for me, anyway, is to
Right.
bring a sense of levity, humor, but also just authentic, real conversation to life shit, right? I mean, I think it's we have unique stories, but also stories that people can relate to. My life was actually a little bit more boring before I started hanging out with Tanisha. Tanisha is one of those people that
Here come another lie.
she's a bit of a shenanigans magnet, right? I mean, it never fails. Whenever you're out with Tanisha, it's guaranteed that some shit is gonna jump off, and so I've had to adjust to that.
Are you really serious right now? Like, are you really? See, that's not what we talking about. Are you really serious right now?
I mean, I think that's a part of it, though, right? I mean, that's what keeps the relationship interesting.
That I'm a shenanigans magnet.
Yeah. You disagree?
I wholeheartedly disagree. Only in the sense of, I think it's dual. I don't think it's just one-sided with me. I think we share and we bring a sense of shenanigans to wherever we are with whomever we're with. at whatever time. I know for a fact it's not just me.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
whatever. So I think that the show will, at least my goal is to have friends on, and I mean, because we have a unique, I guess we come from a unique perspective. We've both been married prior to this particular marriage, so we've been married, we've been divorced, we both have kids. We have a we were just having a conversation about our one that's on the spectrum that brings us a level of
anxiety and joy every day.
Yes, but that's our heart. So I mean, I think we have a lot to offer. I think we have a lot to share, and I think it'll be a really, really interesting journey. I think so many people want to see and hear, kind of how we got here and how we continue to maintain on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's also like, I mean, I think there's a space in the world for telling authentic stories about Black relationships. And I think, sometimes
Or Samoan.
you are far too short to be Samoan. Just saying. Samoan's at least minimum 5'5". But anyway, I think there is this opportunity and this. I mean, I think we're not going to get on here and try to appear like the perfectly married couple. I mean, life is messy. Again, biscuits sometimes are burnt, and I think it's really kind of just. I think a lot of times in the world of social media, right, people get on and they share all the content and everything they share makes it look like, their shit is perfect. And
right.
I think for me, the podcast is an opportunity to pull back the veil a little bit, not just on us, but I think on our guests and people's experiences and things that people have been through, to have just those real, authentic, human conversations. I think as much as possible, doing it through a perspective of humor, but also just rawness, because I think that's what people need right now in a world where it's just a lot of bullshit, right? I think it's the opportunity to have real conversations by people that are doing real dope stuff in the world, but dealing with real shit every day. So
I agree wholeheartedly. So is there anything else that you want to...
Y'all, this haircut,
You like okay, so here's the deal with the haircut. I typically attempt to keep my hair really short, and it had grown out a bit over the past, I don't know, couple months, but it grows really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided that I just wanted something new. I wanted her to cut it all off, just go around and
see. When I was a kid, I always said I was gonna have a girl with Halle Berry hair, so I made that happen.
Whatever. So you actually. I mean, I haven't put any curls or
My
anything in it.
My whole rule about short hair, I love short hair. My whole
Rule.
rule. I guess it's more like a philosophy about
that
short
sounds
hair.
a little better.
Is to, like, I always said that while I love women with short hair, I would never necessarily be cool with hair that was shorter than mine. Now my hair, grows out a little bit. I'm blessed even at 52 to kind of have this little full coif, right? But can we talk about hair color for a minute?
No, we cannot talk about. Like, what do you want to talk about? You know what? We actually can't. We can talk about. No, you know what? We can talk about hair color. We can discuss that. Since we're talking about my hair, we can talk about hair color. What would you like to?
So I think part of what's interesting about I think relationships in general, and I learned a lot. First marriage, second marriage, that relationships are often about give and take, right?
Okay.
And a lot of times, people in relationships make the mistake of keeping score, right? It's like tit for tat. Like,
okay,
I let you do this, I'm gonna go do that. I definitely don't subscribe to that, and I think part of what's interesting is my wife doesn't either, with very few exceptions. And hair color is one of those. Like, I've been blessed with just a little bit of gray on the temples, but I'm often forced to go through an inspection when I come back from the barbershop to make sure.
But let's make sure that we explain why. Let's tell everyone why there's an inspection when you come back from the barbershop.
What was
the why? The why was the time you came home from the barbershop and you looked like someone had taken some shoe polish and done your head and your mustache, and it was all jet black. And dude, really?
No, that was my man. First of all, shout out to J-Ro.
That is to shout out my ass. We're not shouting him out. It looked like shit.
Shout out to J-Ro. But what you have to understand is like a lot of that washes out, right? And you didn't give me the opportunity. All you did was put a ban on color that still exists to this day. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Because I can say is not even heavy enough. I love this. I love the salt and pepper look. When you had that old sharp, the black, that shit, and it looked horrendous. It was horrendous.
See, but sometimes I think that's just a little haterish on your part.
Well, I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, and you can call it what you want to.
52,
that was so
at 52, I'm working on this V. I get rid of these little grays. I'm looking 42 all of a sudden.
Are you serious? Are you serious right now? So
just kidding. But on the flip side,
here we go.
My wife could come home with blonde.
Okay, that's different. That's really, really different. That's
getting the grays colored.
Okay, that's different.
And I don't say a word. So I'm just again.
You do say a word. First of all, that's a lie. You do. You do.
All I say is color.
Okay, that's actually saying something.
Once again, sometimes the biscuits are burnt, sometimes the eggs are cold. But if the worst thing that can happen in your marriage is your wife don't let you color your grays,
but at this particular point in time, though, you have to admit that me saying, "Hey, let's not do the black anymore," really enhances your.
Shout out to J-Ro. There is a subtle. There's a subtle difference between going all the way black and just darkening. Anyway,
but that's not what you did. Okay,
let's wait till we get a beauty sponsor and hair care sponsor. Shout out to Bevel to come in and we can have this conversation with some hair care professionals.
Okay,
I think we should invite Naya to come in and talk about hair color.
She can. You know what? I think that Naya would be a great someone to.
And J-Ro.
I'm happy to have a conversation with J-Ro because you know what? That was not it.
You didn't give it a chance. I mean, look, here's the thing, y'all. Today is a different day. Like, normally, my wife will tell you, I don't like first day hair. Like, my wife comes back from the salon, it's a little too perfect. I'm trying to mess it up. All it was when I got that color was first day hair. You didn't give me a chance. You didn't give me a chance to wash it out. Like, the color, a lot of times will wash out. But it's cool, because again.
Because but that's the thing about it. You want your wife to look at you, and you know what I'm saying, and that was not doing it. And on the flip side, I want the same when it comes to, so you know what I'm saying, you enjoy this.
This is just a sample of the type of seemingly small but fun debates that we'll
right
go into during the podcast,
right.
And we've got, I'm telling you right now, we got some really interesting friends, very interesting friends.
They are,
and associates
they really,
that
really are.
Will be participating. And yeah, the one thing I will say is I doubt very seriously there will ever be a dull moment on this podcast.
No, I would wholeheartedly agree there. I would agree. Can you stop slurping it like that on the thing, please?
It's another thing that you learn to deal with in marriage is
that's just really loud.
Things that were actually no problem when you were dating, right?
You didn't slurp like that when we were dating. But that's the thing. That was the thing. That was the thing about it.
But you didn't snore when we were dating. Now you snore.
Oh, so now I snore. So now I snore? Are you serious right now? Are you being really serious?
At some point, we will have a conversation.
Are you being really serious? I snore?
No, you purr, Barry. Very loud.
Now I purr. Okay, got it. Go.
But I think one of the things that I look forward to talking to with our married friends are some of the things that changed, after they got married. I think we've been actually fairly consistent.
I would think so. I mean, we were together for a while before we got married. We got to know, and we lived together for a short period of time before we got married. Yeah. We blended families beforehand. So if I goddamn snored, you would have heard it before now. So saying that is a lie.
Somehow it just got louder after I do. I don't even know what happened. But again, I'm still here. I've worked with it. All I've asked is a compromise that you let me go to sleep first, which you typically try to do. And we good. We working through the snore.
not really sure how you can hear me snore above your snoring, but it is what
See
it is.
what I mean? It's
It
be
is
tit
what
for
it
tat.
is.
This is like
No, it's
the
not tit for
grades.
tat, but I'm saying don't.
like
you
the
can't.
grades.
But what you can't do is you can't come down on me for something that you do.
No, but first of all, there's a difference between coming down and just speaking on something, right? Like, how many times are we out in public and I simply speak on something I see, and then you immediately giving me, I'm not going there with you. I'm not doing it. I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Because to that point though,
But
to
all
that
I do is
point,
speak truth.
But to that point, it takes us back to the first thing that you said about when you're with me, I'm a shenanigans magnet. I think that it's both of us at the end of the day.
All I do is commentate on the life and the things that I see out in the world.
Got it. So, in any event, this is kind of what can be expected when they tune in. When you tune in to Burnt Biscuits and Cold Eggs, which right now we're looking at weekly.
We want to do weekly. I think it's a matter, but we have very busy schedules. I think that's part of just our lives, and I think
I agree.
we definitely want to make the time to share. Wait,
Did you turn the heat on? It's hot. It's not that cold in Houston for you to have the heat on.
she going through the change, y'all.
Actually, I am, and I'm not. That's not something
We
that
gonna talk
I am.
about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I am. I'm 50. So at the end of the day, I don't. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what I said. Ain't nothing wrong with this. Is things we gonna talk about.
Oh my God, this man. Okay, so anyway, I just simply asked if you turned the heat
But no,
on.
I didn't. I did not. Actually turned the heat off. But that's Houston. That's Houston in October, right? It's 58 in the morning. It's 93 in the evening. Who got time to change the time? What I think we should do is just turn everything off. And when it's
I would
cold,
agree.
we cold. When it's hot, we hot. And
Okay.
just rock with it.
Well,
And
that'll
save a little
work
money
too.
on the electric bill.
That'll work too. That works.
But yeah, I think this is a taste of what people can expect.
Are we gonna have alcohol on the show? Can we drink on the show?
I'm gonna have something
Um.
at all times.
Okay. Are we going to? Okay. Never mind.
I mean, we will adjust to what our guests prefer. How about that?
Okay.
Because we do love to entertain,
We
and
do.
in many ways, this is inviting people into our
You
space.
love to entertain. If you could, there would be something going on weekly. You'd be. What's such and such doing this weekend? Let's invite them over so we could grill. Hey, the fight is on. Let's have a fight party. If you could, we would have something every single
Cooking is
weekend.
my stress release. It's what I enjoy doing,
That's your
and
stomach
I
growling?
get great. That's your stomach. My wife has a ventriloquist stomach. I've never seen it before in my life. I'll be
You're
sitting there
such-
knowing that my stomach is not growling, but there's some growling going on, and it's coming from over there. I've never seen no shit like that in my life. But I enjoy cooking. It relaxes me. But I find great joy in people enjoying my food, right?
You do.
I mean, that's ultimately how I won with her.
Here we go with another lie. But okay, go ahead.
Not a lie. I made gumbo, followed by lamb chops, and after that, she was showing up at the house with a Spinna night bag.
You know what? You're right. You should. Well, you know what? Sometimes,
Slight
and you will
slight
learn this.
exaggeration.
You will learn. When you married, people will understand. Sometimes you just say okay for the sake of saying okay, even if it's not really the truth. It's just okay. It's fine.
Shout out to J-Ro.
You know what? You got one more time to shout. You got one more time to shout J-Ro out. Seriously.
Yeah. Tune in. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be interesting. We are going to figure out ways to engage the audience as the audience builds. Maybe it's questions, maybe it's topics that y'all want to see us discuss. Maybe it's people that you want us to invite to the podcast. Tanisha has a lot of celebrity friends. Like my wife is actually a little bit famous in many ways, and so we may have some surprise guests sitting here conversating with us. She's also a professional troublemaker, so it's definitely going to be some instigating.
It's called a habitual line stepper.
Habitual line stepper.
That's
exactly.
what it is. That's what
Another
it is.
way of saying she starts shit. So when we get people on this couch, I would actually say, and this typically happens when we entertain, that people come over, they start off happy and sober. They eat my food, they're happier.
They drink my
The
drink.
sober starts to dissipate. Shout out to Bartesian.
Yeah, I'm the bartender.
And eventually,
I think I want to go to bartending school.
oftentimes, like how many times have husbands or boyfriends like somewhat aggressively just escorted their girlfriends or wives out of the house because they were just going too far?
But it's not. It's really not intentional. It's just my way of welcoming guests into our home so that they enjoy themselves. And for some reason,
You
it
send
seems
them
like
home with an argument.
it seems like the women enjoy.
Your cocktails.
Yeah, they do, and so they
So,
loosen up.
So expect a little bit of that.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, and that's that's what we're gonna do.
It should be an interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting journey.
It's gonna be an absolutely interesting journey. I mean, if it's anything like real life.
Exactly. So, all right. So what are we saying? Are we going to
Toast with your little glass.
and the Astros?
Yeah.
So this is okay. You know what? I just thought about tomorrow. Tomorrow makes
The 5-year anniversary of my DM.
it does. You knew that? You knew that? Did you really know that?
Yeah.
So it really does.
Yeah.
And I think that. Never mind. Okay. So yeah, you're right. But so Astros. I mean, I think all of this is really.
Go Stros.
Yes. It's.
Go DMs.
Uh-huh.
Burnt biscuits and cold eggs. I'm finna get these grays colored.
That's what you're not gonna do.
Shout out to J-Ro.
We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Deuces.
Sally